Federal government to probe 107 universities over fake degree scam. Federal government postpones student loan scheme indefinitely. Despite leaving border closure ban, comeback business community decries stagnant operations. And 1 killed, 22 injured in northern China gas explosion. Hello and welcome to the news updates. I am Martia Umar. Thank you for joining. Now the news in detail. The federal government has initiated a probe into private universities established in the last 15 years and has called for public memoranda to aid in the investigation. This action follows an investigative report by journalist Umar Audu of Daily Nigerian, which exposed certificate racketeering in neighboring Benin Republic and Togo. According to findings, approximately 107 private universities have been established in the last 15 years. The Interministerial Investigative Committee on Degree Certificate Myelin, set up by the federal government, will assess whether these universities have the necessary facilities, appropriate management structures, adequate funding for programs, and the appropriate staff composition. The committee emphasized that this probe is conducted independently of the National Universities Commission's periodic accreditation exercise. It solicits memoranda from the public to provide information that will assist in making recommendations to address the identified issues in accordance with its terms of reference. Now, the federal government has indefinitely postponed the launch of the Nigerian student loan scheme, as confirmed by Akintunde Sawyer, the executive secretary of the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, in an interview with Arise News. Originally scheduled to commence on Thursday, the launch has been delayed again due to ongoing corrections being made. So he explained that there is no definite date for the commencement, as the government is waiting to ensure that all stakeholders are aligned to prevent any blindsiding, allowing the federal government to roll out the scheme in a meaningful, comprehensive, wholesome and sustainable way. The bill to establish the Student Loan Fund, signed into law by President Bola Tinubu in June 2023, aims to provide interest-free loans to Nigerians pursuing higher education. Initially planned to begin between September and October 2023, the scheme faced delays, with President Tinubu announcing a new start date of January 2024 after missing the October deadline. In January, Yusuf Sunono, Minister of State for Education, confirmed during a Federal Executive Council meeting that preparations for the scheme were complete, including the finalization of student loan scheme website and technical plans to facilitate its implementation. However, the postponement indicates that further alignment among stakeholders is needed before the scheme can be launched. The Nigerian Senate on Wednesday suspended Senator Abdul Ningi for 3 months over allegations of 3.7 trillion naira padding of the 2024 budget. Before Ningi's suspension, the upper legislative chamber was thrown into chaotic session following deliberations on budget padding, allegations made by the lawmaker. The report.
Chairman of the Senate Committee on Appropriation, Solomon Olamilekan, who moved the motion that led to the suspension of Senator Ningi, explained that the figure is not contained in the budget because some of the agencies are on first-line charge.
The two documents we have here was shared to the 109 senator of the Senate. Contained in this document, under the volume 1, paragraph 2, 3, and 4, is the breakdown of the 28.77 trillion budget that was passed.
However, Senator Ningi, who was given a fair hearing on the floor of the Senate, maintained his position that 3.7 trillion naira could not be accounted for in the 2024 budget.
The president's powers stopped as a proposer, as he proposed the budget. And I said, there is no way the National Assembly will add anything on the budget and it becomes funding.
Matters got worse when Senator Agom Jarigbe from Cross River North revealed that dwelling on the issues was counterproductive as lawmakers are culpable in the alleged budget padding scandal. He further revealed that while some lawmakers received 500 million naira, others got as much as 100 billion naira from the budget. Jarigbe's claim, however, did not go down well with his colleagues as his declaration threw the session in a rowdy one for nearly 30 minutes.
If we want to go into those issues, all of us are culpable. Some senators here, so-called senior senators, got 500 million each. I am a ranking senator, I didn't get. Did I go to the press?
Meanwhile, the Senate leader, Okpeyemi Bamidele, accused Senator Ningi of plotting a coup against the Akpabio Senate presidency. The Senate leader claimed that the Bauchi lawmakers' action was a fallout of the June 13, 2023 election of the Senate leadership, which produced Akpabio as the Senate president.
And in doing this, he wanted to use the platform of Northern Senators Forum. God bless all those who have dissociated themselves as members of Northern Senators Forum.
A member of the Appropriation Committee in the Senate, Jimo Ibrahim, first moved the motion for Ningi's suspension for 12 months over allegations of criminal misinformation and breach of peace in the National Assembly and the country by extension.
It should be warned to stop posting, inciting informations that are not right, and then it should tender apology. It should stop posting all those informations with a way of distorting facts.
However, other lawmakers like Senator Asuko Ekpeyong moved for the amendment of the motion by Ibrahim. Ekpeyong prayed for the reduction of the suspension.
I amend that the suspension period be reduced to 6 months. I so move.
After deliberations, the Senate resolved to suspend Senator Ningi for 3 months from all activities of Parliament, while Senator Kawu got off with a warning.
And is therefore suspended for a period of 3 months from partaking in events in the Senate or being found in the precincts of the National Assembly for the next 3 months.
Shortly after his suspension, Senator Abdul Ningi resigned his position as the chairman of Northern Senators Forum.
Still in the National Assembly, the Federal Capital Territory Administration says it is prioritizing improvement in healthcare services, job creation, youth empowerment, and increased productivity in agriculture in order to lift as many citizens as possible out of poverty. This was contained in the 2024 appropriation document of the FCT presented to the House of Representatives on Tuesday. For this and other stories from the House on Tuesday, let's join our reporter in the House.
The document read by the Speaker of the House, Tajuddin Abbas, is based on the FCTA revenue and expenditure focus in line with the physical and development policy of the federal government and the Renewed Hope agenda. The budget proposal took into consideration the 2024 to 2026 Economic Recovery and Growth Plan, as well as key assumptions in the 2024 budget.
The budget proposal has been prepared on the basis of the FCTA's revenue and expenditure forecast and is aligned with the fiscal and developmental policies of the federal government and the Renewed Hope agenda.
In another development, the House, following the motion under matters of urgent national importance moved by Munil Ahmed from Kaduna State, has appealed to the Office of the National Security Advisor and security agencies to urgently harness powers within their reach to rescue the over 180 adopted teachers and students by kidnappers in Kaduna State.
Also aware that factors fueling insecurity, ranging from illicit drug trade, human trafficking, and proliferation of small arms, is a serious threat to the development of Kaduna State and the nation, and therefore a coordinated effort encompassing all security apparatus.
Similarly, Honorable Austin Achadu from Benue State, who lamented the insistent attacks meted on some individuals in Benue State, appealed to the federal government to facilitate the rehabilitation and provide security measures for the community and its environment.
Further saddened that the marauding bandits have for a long time been left to operate in Benue State unhindered and have built up the resilience, capacity, and courage.
Meanwhile, Representative Paul Haruna from Kogi State has expressed worry over the recent armed robbery attacks, leading to the loss of lives of some individuals in some parts of the state. In a matter of urgent matters of importance, he urged the federal government to collaborate with the state government to forestall future occurrence.
Undoubtedly, Mr. Speaker, several measures to arrest this ugly situation have been undertaken by my humble self when I was a member of Kogi State House of Assembly in collaboration with the State Commissioner of Police that resulted in the deployment of an armored personnel carrier to Ariba town. But regrettably, Mr. Speaker, the cases of armed robbery are still on the increase, with evidence of resultant economic and social consequences.
In another development, the House has passed the first reading 10 bills at plenary. 3 bills also skilled second reading. The bills are a bill for an act to amend the Criminal Code Act sponsored by Ejiro Gene Wavy, Chairman House Committee in Rules and Businesses. A bill for an act to establish Nigerian Mining Development Bank to provide financial support and promote investment and foster sustainable development in the mining sector of Nigeria, and for related matters sponsored by Uchenna Okonkwo from Anambra State. And a bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Centers Act and establish Federal Medical Center, Boki Local Government Area, Cross River State, sponsored by Victor Abang.
Also, the House of Representatives Committee on Finance has raised concerns over rising cost of crude oil production amidst low output and reduced revenue to the federal government for over a decade. Chairman of the committee, James Faleke, raised the concern in an opening remark at a meeting with the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited, NNPCL, on the impact of crude oil production on government revenue on Tuesday. Faleke said it is important for Nigerians to understand the impact of production costs on the available revenue accruable to the federal government to execute its programs in the national budget. The Group Chief Executive Officer of NNPCL, Milikiari, while responding, noted that there are several illegal crude oil vessels which were intercepted by security agencies.
So, honorable colleague, the bottom line here today is that we want to see how we make at least when we sell crude at $80 or $79 or whatever the price is, when we incur costs on paper at $40. What it means is that whatever is left is what is available for the federation. And so we expect the Nigerian NNPC to throw more light to this, whether this cost is true or not.
Initially, vessels are arrested, taken to naval dockyards, across the country in very many locations. Simply anywhere that you have a well, it's a litter, Mr. Chairman, of vessels today now. In their hundreds in these locations today, Mr. Chairman. Not just 100, in their hundreds. And you can validate this from the Nigerian Navy. We don't even know what to do with them.
Away from the House of Representatives now, residents of Kamba are lamenting over the long-term hardship as prices of food items and transportation continues to soar. A situation they attributed to the removal of fuel subsidy and closure of borders. Trust TV's correspondent Evelyn Godba reports.
Since the removal of fuel subsidy in Nigeria, citizens have been exposed to hardship and high cost of living. Residents living around the border communities are not left out. They are complaining that food items are getting more expensive, while the ban on importation of these food items is affecting their businesses.
We are experiencing a decrease in customers. Bringing safer has severely affected our business. Additionally, the unfavorable exchange rate of the naira to the dollar has worsened the situation. Previously, exchanging 1 million naira could yield 3 million sefa, but now it takes 3 million naira to get 1 million sefa, leading to diminished capital. There is an urgent need for the border to reopen, as the current closure has caused significant hardship. Despite hearing about the border reopening, we are yet to witness it.
Business owners trading within the border community also lament that the high exchange rate is affecting their purchase of foods and transportation of goods from neighboring countries. According to them, the high cost of living was further exacerbated by sanctions on Niger Republic, a result of military coup that toppled the administration of Mohamed Bazoum.
Sunana Ashiru Muhammad Sabikamba. To the farko dai
The border has not been officially reopened. There has been a gradual relaxation of restrictions. Previously, bringing even a bag of rice to the market was challenging, but now there is some ease in trading activities. The primary concern for US is not the ECOWAS ban, but rather the impact of the forex exchange. The fluctuating exchange rates have significantly affected our ability to conduct business.
Gaskiya, what we are facing a lot. Every day if you come to market, you come with money now. Like last week I come to buy maize. I come with 50,000, but this week I come with 50,000. The money is too much. The bag of maize now is 62,000. If you want to buy, you buy. If you will not buy, you will leave it, because they will not reduce everything. Every night they used to add money.
Despite the sanction being lifted, the border still remains closed, and all effort to get any official to comment on the matter did not yield result. However, report has it that Niger has announced her permanent withdrawal from ECOWAS to form the Alliance of Sahel States.
This is still the news update. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at Plateau State government signing executive order to demolish unauthorized buildings. Details of the story and more shortly. Join us again. You're welcome back. You're still watching the news update on Trust TV. A look at our major headlines again. We told you earlier that for the government to probe 107 universities over fake degree scam, and the federal government postpones a student loan scheme indefinitely. In an effort to promote peace and understanding in Taraba State and environs, the Commander 6th Brigade and Sector 3 Operation Wild Stroke, Brigadier General Kingsley Chideberewa, has initiated a peace meeting with stakeholders from southern Taraba State. The meeting, which was held in Takum, served as a platform to foster dialogue and cultivate collaboration between the military and local communities in southern part of the state. General Uwa said the purpose of the peace initiatives was to establish a strong foundation of trust and understanding among all parties in the area. The meeting witnessed the active participation of key stakeholders within the local government areas, including community leaders, representatives, and civil society organizations and influential members of the public. Now, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria is facing challenges in preparing Nigeria's contingent for the 2024 Hajj due to its inability to secure the remaining funds required to pay service operators in Saudi Arabia. Despite having concluded all contracts for the Hajj operation, the Commission is encountering obstacles in making payments to providers responsible for feeding, accommodation and transportation during the pilgrimage. NACAN had previously disclosed that the Saudi Arabian Ministry of Hajj and Umrah had set February 25 as the deadline for signing all contracts, which marked the cessation of payment into the international bank account number. However, as 2 weeks have passed since the kingdom began issuing visas, the Commission still struggles with payment issues. The depreciation of the Naira is identified as a significant factor contributing to this challenge. Furthermore, uncertainty surrounding whether President Bola Ahmed Tinubu would approve a subsidized dollar rate adds to the apprehension about potential fare increase for the pilgrimage. Now to Plateau State, where the government has signed an executive order 003 directing the demolition of unauthorized construction within Barikin Ladi, Jos South and Jos North local government areas of the state. The new executive order has also restricted trucks and other heavy-duty equipment from coming into the business areas of the state from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. adding that vehicles of defaulters would be impounded and drivers of same vehicles liable to a fine of 500,000 naira each. Ado Musa completes the story.
Briefing journalists after signing the Executive Order number 003/2024 for the control of building and vehicular traffic, the General Manager of Jos Metropolitan Development Board, Had Bankat, said the Executive Order aims to regulate the construction of buildings and the flow of vehicular traffic in Plateau State.
Under this order, all new building projects must obtain the necessary permits and comply with building codes and regulations. Unauthorized constructions will be demolished in accordance with the law. Furthermore, the order also aims to streamline vehicular traffic by implementing traffic management measures, such as designated parking spaces, traffic lights, and road signages. Violators of traffic rules will face strict penalties, including fines and vehicle impoundment.
The General Manager also explained some of the areas that the order will affect.
Traders doing business on sites not designated for such shall cease immediately. Anyone in default shall have their items confiscated and same donated to the internally displaced persons camp or the correctional centers. 7. Pasting of posters on public infrastructure is prohibited forthwith, and violators shall be liable to pay the sum of 500,000 naira. 8. Indiscriminate parking of trucks, heavy-duty equipment, and other vehicles within the metropolis is prohibited, and vehicles so parked shall be impounded, and the drivers of same shall be liable to pay a fine of 500,000 naira as penalty.
The General Manager, however, called on the residents of the state to cooperate with the government, as the order will help improve the quality of life for all residents and create a safe and organized urban environment. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
And away from Plateau State now, the latest report by the United Nations Interagency Group for Child Mortality Estimation revealed that the number of children who died before their 5th birthday reached a historic low, dropping to 4.9 million in 2022, led by United Nations Children's Fund and the UN. IGME includes the World Health Organization, the World Bank Group, and the Population Division of the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs. Released on Wednesday, the report highlighted that more children are surviving today than ever before, with the global under-5 mortality rate declining by 51% since 2000. Notably, several low and lower middle-income countries have made significant progress, surpassing the decline. And this underscores the importance of adequately allocating resources to primary health care, including child health and well-being. Specifically, countries like Cambodia, Malawi, Mongolia, and Rwanda have achieved remarkable reductions in under-5 mortality by over 75% since 2000. However, despite this advancement, the report emphasizes that there's still much work to be done to end all preventable child and youth deaths. In addition to the 4.9 million lives lost before the age of 5, with nearly half being newborns, the report also noted that another 2.1 million children and youth aged 5 to 24 had their lives cut short. Most of these deaths occurred in sub-Saharan Africa and Southern Asia, indicating the ongoing challenges in these regions regarding child and youth mortality. And on the international scene now, a huge suspected gas explosion at a restaurant in northern China has killed 2 people and injured 26 more during Wednesday's rush hour season, causing severe damage of buildings. And according to report, the blast occurred just before 8 a.m. in a residential area in the city of Sane, Hebei province, less than 50 kilometers east of the center of Beijing. The explosion was suspected to have been caused by a gas leak at a fried chicken shop. And that brings us to the news at this hour. For more programming, documentaries, and news, you can follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Martia Umar. Thank you for watching and stay tuned.